good, the bad, and the odd. They do go on.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd with your host, Welcome Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Right, so we are watching today's Zathura, a space adventure. Now, this was chosen by me. We're trying to daisy chain each of our sort of regular films, and the last one we did was Twilight, right? So, and Kirsten Stewart is in this movie, and I just happened to notice she was, and I thought, actually, I'm going to tell you a secret, really. What I did was I found a website that tells you links between actors and Nick Cage in as few steps as possible. And I can't tell you what the link was on the top of my head, so I just did Kirsten Stewart, Nick Cage. No, I did Patterson and Nick Cage, but none of the films that came up as Patterson's film to do were interesting to me. So I think Kirsten Stewart and Zathura came up, and I thought, and honestly, I don't know what the link is finally to Nick Cage, but I just thought it was kind of a fun way to sort of pick it. Okay, so Zathura, space adventure, made in 2005. I had a completely wrong idea what this was. I thought this was an animated, like a CG animated film. I'm thinking of another film, but I can't tell you what that film is.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think it's Titan AE.
Yes, you are right. I don't know how Titan AE relates to Zathura, but
I have no idea.
No, I don't know. This was made in 2005, directed by Jon Favreau. Interesting. And it was an adaptation of a children's book called Zathura, by a guy called Chris Van Allsburg, who was also the author of Jumanji.
Yeah.
And this is considered like Jumanji universe kind of stuff, and it's got a similar vibe. Though I'll say that
the book Zathura is a sequel, as far as I know.
Right. So they didn't make that connection in this film, did they? And I read up that Jon Favreau decided he didn't want to make it explicit because he didn't particularly like Jumanji.
Oh,
how about that?
One. The original Jumanji's great.
I haven't seen it, but
we need to watch that at some point.
Wow, it could change from this, right? I don't see why not.
Original Jumanji.
But the bits I've seen of the original Jumanji make it look pretty good to me, and I don't know why I've never got around to watching it. But I mean, Jon Favreau's got quite a good run as a director. He did Elf. I mean, that was a great film. He did the first two Iron Man movies. The first Iron Man movie was pretty damn good. He did Cowboys and Aliens, which I've not seen. He did Chef, which I've heard is very good. And he did those live-action Jungle Book, Lion King ones, which I don't have a particularly high opinion of, but I'm more tied to the original animated versions, which is probably why. Okay, so this one, interesting. Very small cast.
There's 3 characters with names and about 6 total.
There's Dad, right, who hasn't got a name, you're right. The 3 kids and the older sister are the only named people.
The 2 kids and the older
Sorry. 2 kids and the sister are the only named.
Then there is an astronaut that shows up that's only referred to as the astronaut. And then there's a robot that just doesn't have a name.
There's lizard things too, but okay. Okay, so it starts with these 2 brothers, Walter and Danny, who are just argumentative, and their dad's trying to share his time between the 2 of them, but they just keep arguing and doing things wrong, and the little one keeps saying sorry after he's done something stupid. And it's Tim Robbins, which is kind of interesting. This is he's not got many lines of dialogue, has he? He's in the beginning.
No.
Yeah, and that's about it. But basically he has to go into the office.
Yeah, the kids fuck up his work from home stuff. And proceed to make him have to go into the office to get it. So
and they whine about it. Whine about it. Meanwhile, their sister is upstairs. She's an older. She's a teenager.
Yeah, she's asleep. She sleeps through most of this film.
Yeah,
in one way or another.
Yeah, she's got a date at 8 o'clock, so she wants to be rested. But the dad comes up and says, "Can you look after these guys for me?" She goes, "Give me 15 minutes." It's all that. And then they go. Now, what did you think of the film overall?
I quite liked it. Yeah, it's a fun film. Good moral.
Yeah,
Like,
I kind of liked it, and I liked the message. I didn't like the two boys. I didn't think they were very good, actually.
the older kid was good, but the younger kid, when he was trying to be like scared, it was quite flat, and it was just bad kid acting.
Yeah, the little.
Which I can't blame him for, because he seems like 6 years old or something like that during this.
I agree. The older one certainly could act. The younger one really couldn't act. But the problem I had also was neither of them had much. To have argumentative brothers and it all get resolved, they've got to have a bit more personality, a bit more. There's got to be something likable about them. Yeah. And these two are just annoying, actually. Yeah. I thought Kirsten Stewart was pretty good, actually. She was way
While me and my friend were watching this, I literally leaned over, and during this one bit where she screams, I was like, there's literally more emotion than she shows throughout the entirety of Twilight.
Yeah,
She's
a decent actress, so it's so weird that she was so flat in Twilight. But yeah, she was pretty good in this. I quite also like Dax Shepard as the astronaut. He's a funny dude, and the only thing I can remember seeing him in other things is Idiocracy. I remember in that as the guy, you drink water like out of the toilet and all that. And he also always reminds me of the guy from Scrubs.
Yeah, Zach Braff. We were making jokes about this as well. It's just every other shot he turns around and I'm like, oh, it's Zach Braff. Oh no, it's still Dax Shepard.
Yeah, and he plays the astronaut.
We were making a joke because there's a sequence at the end where part of his backstory is his brother was wished away, and his brother gets wished back during the course of it, and we were making jokes that it was going to be Turk from Scrubs.
Yeah, that would be.
Not actually Turk. It's just going to be another guy that looks a lot like Turk, but isn't actually Donald Faison.
Yeah, something like that. So we're gonna probably have excuse me. Excuse me. I haven't got COVID. You've had COVID, haven't you?
Yeah, I had COVID.
I haven't, but I've got a cough. Suddenly developed.
20 years of doing customer-facing work. Didn't get COVID as far as we could move. And then 2 months in a call centre, I get COVID.
Amazing. So we're going to have spoilers from this point. So released in 2005, cost 65 million, gross 65 million. So presumably that's a loss, right? After marketing and that. This is 2005, so there's a little CG in it, which is a bit ropey, but there's other CG in it that's pretty good, actually.
It's that sort of off CG that kind of works for it, because it's such a kid's film. Like, it's very high. I hesitate to say this, high fantasy.
Yeah.
And everything looks weird enough that it kind of works with the bad CG.
Yeah, and there was some great sort of doing space and spaceships was pretty good. The only bit of CG that really didn't work for me is the giant lizard guys. When they lick their lips, it just looked really fake, and it took me out of it. But the actual models and costume for the lizard guy was amazing.
The costumes was awesome.
Amazingly good. Anyway, let's get into the story. We can talk about the bits and bobs as we go. So these kids are arguing. They're really annoying each other. The little kid is rubbish at throwing football. And he's waiting his turn while his dad plays throws with the older one, and they get 25 each. That's the rule and all this. And he says, no, let's change over now. The older kid whines about it. The younger kid can't catch anything. And at one point, the dad tries to throw the ball really gently to sort of encourage him, and the older kid jumps in the way and grabs it, which really upsets the little one. And the dad's like, "Oh, you kids are driving me crazy." All this, but he's actually quite sympathetic father, actually.
Yeah.
And we get some stuff about their divorce. Their mum lives somewhere else, and they have 3 days with the dad and 4 days with the mum one week, or alternate the next week. And they're arguing about, you get the mum's later. Oh, no, we've only had your 3 days. Yeah, but it's all that.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're kind of bored. And at one point, the little kid annoys the older brother, and the older brother puts him in the dumb waiter, doesn't he? And starts lowering him down. But then he's about to let him out, and the kid says something else to annoy him, so he just lowers him into the basement.
He just lowers him into the basement where there's a scary boiler, which is a weirdly another thing I brought up with my friend. This is a weirdly consistent thing in American films. Like, there's a scary boiler.
Yeah, it was Home Alone, right? Home Alone. I've seen it in The Simpsons, I think. I think Bart was scared of a boiler in one of the episodes, I think. And I'm pretty sure it's in It as well. There's something like that in It. Anyway, the kid goes into the basement. He's like walking around this dark basement. He finds this old game called Zathura, Space Adventure. Now, it's a weird, old school game. It's kind of mechanical. You spin a key and it spits out cards. Which I think is how Jumanji works, but I could be wrong. I'm not quite sure.
Jumanji is a dice rolling one where you move around the board and there's like a little thing in the middle that instead of like spitting out a card, the words appear in that. So
okay, so this one they turn a key, they press a button, they get a count, and a card gets spit out, and the thing moves for you.
Yeah.
But it weirdly knows what's on the cards and moves. You know, if it's go back 2 places, it'll then move back 2 places once you've read out the card. So it's kind of magic, right?
This would be really good as like one of those video game board games.
Yeah, it was cool design and everything. Yeah. Meanwhile, Lisa's still upstairs asleep. Yeah. And then suddenly, once the first turn, it's like meteor shower.
And their front room gets completely like torn apart by meteors.
I mean, massive meteors coming through the WhatsApp. And then when they go outside, they think it's nighttime. Then they go outside, they're actually floating in space. The house is just floating in space.
Yeah.
They go and wake up Lisa and sort of say, "You got to help us." And she's like, "Oh, I've overslept."
Yeah, she sees the star and goes, "Oh, I've overslept. I need to take a shower. Get ready." And runs off, goes, takes a shower. And they're demonstrating the game to her. So like, we got to push the button. Then this will pop up. Ding. Hey, it popped up. And then we push the button, we get a card. And she's like, I've got no time for this. And like goes into the shower and they read the card. It's like, your crewmate goes into cryogenic like sleep for 5 turns. And then you just hear something freezing over.
She gets frozen. She gets basically turned into a waxwork, really, is what it is. But basically, she's frozen. Yeah. So she's out of the film for quite a while because of this, which is convenient. Then they realise, they work out, I think the older kid, because the little kid is also kind of stupid. He can't quite read.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Yeah. He's not. I don't know what age he's meant to be. Do you?
6.
So and he can't read, which is weird, right? So the older brother has to read out the cards, and the older one who's smart realises they've just got to continue the game to get back
just got to grind out the game.
And then they get a card saying your robot is defective, and it's like, what robot? And then there's this ominous shadow.
It's ominous shadow, and then like a 2-inch tall robot like walks around the corner. It's like alien detected. Like, that's a robot? Come on. That's not scary. They start arguing and the robot grows in the background.
And it's massive. And I can't remember what happens now. They kind of get it in the cellar and it's kind of smashed up a bit.
They trick it into falling down the stairs into the cellar, and it like smashes itself up and starts like repairing itself.
Now, have I got this right? The voice of the robot was Frank Oz.
Yes.
Which is I didn't recognise it as Frank Oz, so it's such a weird sort of.
I recognised it as a Muppet. I was like, that's a Muppet. I don't know which Muppet it is, but that's a Muppet.
But it's Frank Oz. I might have been doing this as a favour to Don Favreau. Or maybe the Muppet Workshop provided the reptile creatures outfits, because it looked a bit like Skeksis, didn't it? They looked at Zorgo.
Skeksis. Looks like it's by Stan Winston Studio, so they're the Jurassic Park guys.
Okay, now these, I'll tell you what, this was a flashback for me. When I saw these guys, they reminded me of the lizard alien mercenaries hired, this is a deep cut, hired by Judge Cow in the Judge Dredd story, The Day the Lord Died.
Called the Clegs.
The Clegs. Yeah. They looked really similar to the Clegs.
Yeah.
Which is weird, right? That was
a lot of this stuff is like from that sort of like pulpy sci-fi. A lot of the aesthetics are from that. A lot of Flash Gordon-esque stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else it made me think a bit of like The Last Starfighter, the sort of premise of, kids in space and stuff like that. And maybe things like Explorers. It reminded me a bit of the old Joe Dante film Explorers, which I don't think is very well seen in this country, but it's a pretty good film. These kids basically create a spaceship accidentally and then fly around the galaxy. It's kind of had that vibe. But those kids were way more charming and likable than these two. The problem with these two is, as I say, they just kept arguing. It's like,
and then eventually the younger kid, once they've done all this and they've been like chased around by Zorgons for a while, the younger kid starts refusing to actually play the game. So it becomes like, let's get this over with. Come on.
Yeah, and it's frightened, I think. I can't quite work it out, really. It was a bit poorly written in some places. So anyway, they get him to continue, and then it's like one of the Zorgons turn up, and then they leave.
They leave because they do another turn, and an astronaut shows up, and the astronaut knows what to do about Zorgons. Is that we need to turn off all lights, heat sources.
Yeah.
Then they set fire to a sofa and just sort of push it off into space.
Yeah, to distract the Zorgons. So this astronaut is a bit of a dick, but he's all right. But the older kid wants to get rid of him straight away. Yeah. But the older kid wants to get rid of him, but he has a card saying I'm an admiral, and the astronaut goes, "Wow, oh sorry, admiral. Oh, wait, I've got a card that says I'm an admiral." So okay, but then the older kid's trying to get him to leave, saying, "I think you need to go," and the astronaut then says to the younger kid, "Is it?" I get confused. Danny's the little one, isn't it? And Walter's the older one.
I think Walter's the older one.
Yeah, Walter's the older one. So Walter wants him to leave, but the astronaut says, "Well, I'll go if you both want me to go." And Danny's like, he can't bring himself to say he's got to go. So the astronaut stays, and Walter's a bit annoyed about this. But then the astronaut actually starts telling him useful information and helping him out. So, first he just turns up and eats all their food. So he looks like he's a...
kind of a scrounger.
But then he actually starts helping them. Mind you, he did help them before by setting fire to the couch and throwing it out of the room. So what then happened? There's something
they play a few rounds of the game, and the Walter gets a card that's a wish.
Yeah.
And the astronaut's like, "You gotta be careful with that wish. When the thing goes past, you got to be careful with that wish."
Yeah.
And the younger brother starts being annoying about it.
Yeah. Which is not great. There is one bit where Walter accuses Danny of cheating and tries to change something, and the board kicks him out of the house, so he's floating off in space. But the astronaut goes and rescues him. This is before he kicked him out. Tried to kick him out too, I think, isn't it, or after? I can't remember.
This is after, but immediately after this, the guy. The younger brother tries to cheat by moving his piece ahead, but when the older brother moves it back, he's the one that gets accused of cheating. So he gets ejected. So the astronaut has to save him. Then the older brother gets a wish on his turn, and the younger brother starts being annoying about it. And the astronaut's like, "You got to be really careful about this," and the younger brother's being a pain in the neck and runs off. And so it's because he gets a wish when a shooting star goes past. The star goes past while the younger brother's out of the room, and the astronaut panics, runs, and starts looking for the younger brother. It's like, Danny. Can't find him. He looks at the older brother. It's like, "What have you done?"
And the astronaut does reveal a bit later, this happened to him, and he wished his brother wasn't there, and that's why it's quite a good, I thought it was quite a good scene where he's talking to the older boy, and he's sort of saying, no matter what a good idea it seems, never wish for something when you're angry, don't do something out of anger. Never do that. And he kind of talks it down. And he does find Danny, and we find out the older brother, of all things, wished for an autographed football. Which is weird, right? Then he starts explaining that he played this game before. He and his brother played this game 15.
So the astronaut explains that he played this game.
Yeah. Sorry, I meant that. And he had a brother, and he wished his brother had never been born or didn't exist. Something. And he lost his brother, and he always regretted it.
And also, he couldn't play the game anymore because the other player wasn't there, so it just didn't work anymore.
Yeah, and he said, so I'm trapped here. I've been trapped so I can't play the game. So Walter and Danny kind of make up at that point, don't they? Meanwhile, Lisa wakes up after 5 turns or what? I didn't really count the turns, but I assume.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like there were 5, but She's still not really sure what's going on. She thinks they're kidding her, but she notices the heating's off and it's cold, so she turns
it back on.
So the Zorgons return and start. And I have to say, I really like the Zorgon spaceships.
Yeah, they're super Flash Gordon.
Yeah, they're very Flash Gordon. They look like
blimp with a pointed nose and sort of.
Yeah. They're very cool though. I really like them.
Yeah.
So the Zorgons come back, and the boys and the astronaut realise the heating's been turned up, and the Zorgons are basically firing these massive harpoons and anchoring themselves to the house. So there's several Zorgons. Now, how the Zorgons just don't find these people in this small house, I don't know.
Yeah.
They manage to evade the Zorgons, and they realise the Zorgons have taken the game.
Yeah, so they need to get it back and complete it. So they
they realise. So we hear the astronaut figures out there's a walkie-talkie that works, even though the kids argue it doesn't.
Yeah.
And he says, "I'm going to go try and get the game." And he's out the room, and he sort of says, "Oh, I can't get to it. It's those Zorgons." Then it all goes quiet, and they're like, "What's going on?" Yeah. And there's a bit of tension, bit of peril, and there's a shadow behind the door, and they think it's a Zorgon. And he opens it. It's the astronaut. He doesn't just radio and says, "I'm on my way back."
I will say they do a good job of keeping the Zorgons out of sight for like most of this film. You don't see them until right at the very end.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good when we do see them. Lisa's finally on board, but they realise they haven't got the game and all that sort of stuff. So in the end, they realise they can use the dumbwaiter to get into the ship, but only Danny can fit in it, so he has to go get it. And at one point, he's kind of walking through this with the Zorgons just seem to be burning everything they can find. Yeah. That's all they do, burn stuff. And he's kind of creeping around the ship, and they got this area where they've got what look like sheep or goats or something. And when Danny opens the gate to go in, one of them turns around and it's got like 6 eyes.
Yeah, it's got like a bunch of eyes out that come out on like feelers, like a slug.
Yeah. Sort of, which did make me laugh. And it made me think, this feels like Lovecraft now.
Yeah.
A multi-eyed goat, and all this. Yeah. And he said, and Danny is slowly, while this game is going along a conveyor belt towards this massive fire and a Zorgon standing there, Danny's slowly as you could possibly walk, moving towards it, instead of just running up and grabbing it, which is a bit like, why doesn't he just go and get it? Anyway, he manages to get it and bring it back.
He gets it back upstairs. Well, they get it most of the way upstairs, but the Zorgons like corner them on the stairs at the basement. Yeah. So they throw open the door, and the robot's still there. It's finally finished repairs. And they use a card they got earlier, which was reprogram, to like turn the robot back to their side, and it starts beating up the Zorgons.
Yes, which is
kind of fun. They're able to like escape briefly, so they kind of grind out the last few turns for.
Now Walter, this is where it does get into spoilers for anyone listening, right? Walter then receives another card, which is a wish card, right?
He receives repeat your last turn, and his last turn was the wish, so he basically gets a second wish, and this time after hearing the story of the astronaut, he wishes the guy's brother back, and the brother turns out to be Danny,
which means the astronaut is Walter. Which, like, okay, I couldn't quite work it out, but now we're saying it now, it kind of makes sense. But in the film, it felt a bit incoherent to me. I don't know. Did it feel all right to you? That
I kind of figured something was going on when the astronaut also had the Grand Rear Fleet Admiral card. But
that was a good. It's a good. What's it? That's a good. What's the
foreshadowing?
Word? Foreshadowing. Yeah, that's quite cool. Yeah. Now, but when I was watching, it's like, what the hell? Why don't you just wish the game was over? He gets redemption.
The next turn, Danny gets. They kind of fuse with themselves.
Yeah, Danny.
I don't know how. Yeah, Danny. The two Dannys fuse, and then the astronaut fuses with Walter. And there's no real explanation as to why that happened. They just sort of did.
Yeah. There is a bit of a comedy thing in this, which made me laugh, which is just a bit earlier before this, you realise Kirsten Stewart has kind of got a bit of a crush on the astronaut.
Oh, yeah.
Said, oh, his eyes are so lovely. I feel so safe when he's around and all this.
Yeah, and it's a younger brother.
It's a younger brother got older. It is funny. Doesn't also Lisa at one point throw a piano down a staircase?
Yeah, she shuts a piano down. There's one last Zorgon on the house, and she just chucks a piano down the stairs at it. Yeah, and it kills it.
And she says something like, "I'm Lisa. Lisa's up here," and all this. I don't know what. It made me laugh though. It was quite cool.
Yeah. So they play out their last turn, and it turns out Zathura is a black hole.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's like, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the Zorgons that came back during the last 2 seconds of the film, all get sucked in as well.
Yeah.
And then the house starts to get sucked in, and
then Lisa gets sucked in.
They all get sucked in.
Yeah, and then
they all just snap. They're back to the start.
But it looks like Lisa's died, doesn't it? It's a bit Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead ending. But then they all get sucked in, and the house is back as it was.
Yeah. They just sort of sat there, very confused.
But then we see the brothers are actually treating each other with respect now, rather than being a pair of dicks to each other. They actually this has bonded them. And Lisa says we can't. We got to swear never to tell anyone about this. And the older brother goes, yeah, do you still like me, Lisa? Do you like my eyes? Teasing her, which made me laugh. And then suddenly Walter's the bike, which we should have mentioned.
In a background thing is orbiting the house.
Orbiting the house into falls from the sky and lands on the lawn, and the film ends. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, it was all right. It would have been better for me if the kids were a bit more likable, actually. But it had that kind of fun. It was a bit of, I don't know, Goonies in there.
Yeah, I can see that.
Touch of that. A bit of Battle Beyond the Stars special effects kind of thing.
Yeah, that's surely.
Yeah.
To explain it, sort of thing. Apparently that was one of the inspirations for it. So... He says that a bunch of films influenced Zathura, including Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Superman, and Battle Beyond the Stars.
Superman? Superman. Okay.
Maybe the old. I'm guessing he means the old Fleischer cartoon.
Yeah.
Sort of
should have referenced Flash Gordon as an influence. There's clearly a bit of Flash Gordon's in there. But yeah, it was. I think the costumes were amazing. I'm trying to work out those ships. Oh, here it says they did use models, so maybe some of them ships were models. If they were CG, they were very good, and if they were models, they were very good, actually. So, I quite liked it, and it's kind of a nice addition. Yeah, honestly, it's weird. I've seen every Jumanji film except Jumanji now, the original Jumanji, so it's kind of weird, right? So yeah, it was all right. What would any last thoughts?
It's a really fun film. Do recommend watching it. It's not like a absolute must watch. It's just a fun one. So.
It's I'd say a kiddie kind of film. It's kind of I'd say for
it's very much a kids film but not in the same way that a lot of 80s kids films were. Yeah, a lot of 80s kids films, they're kind of timeless. Yeah, you can just keep watching them and they're just as fun. But this one's kind of a bit too kiddie.
A bit kiddie. It's I'd say 7 to 11, kind of.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Basically the age of the two kids in this.
Yeah. But it was okay. It was okay. What would you give it out of? On your rating system?
I'd just give it a 7.
I'll give it a 6. It's better than sort of very average, but it had a few flaws. I think the casting could have upped it, but I really like Kristen Stewart, Dax Shepard, and Tim Robbins in the bit he was in. The kids were just a bit too annoying for me to give it any more than that. Though I think it ended well. I think the end kind of made up for it, all of that. So if you can get through those kids, it kind of works well, and it's kind of and it doesn't outstates welcome, does it? Just gets on with business and finishes. So that's kind of cool. And it's got a nice sentiment. All right, so next time we'll be training another film off of this. Next time we do that, but the next time we'll be probably doing a Hammer. So the next one we're doing in this lot is going to be in 2 podcasts time. All right then. So bye from me.
Bye.